Now at 10, the state of Missouri announces it will audit the city of Joplin. Plus, authorities find a card skimming device at a Southwest Missouri Casey's store. And Parsons, Kansas residents get a chance to meet the candidates for city commissioner and the school board.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Missouri State Auditor's Office will perform an audit of the city of Joplin. This is KOIM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. A petition calling for the audit had more than 2,200 signatures. The required number of signatures for the petition is 10% of votes cast in the last governor's election. The last state audit for the city of Joplin was in 2015, and the city received a rating of poor, the lowest rating the auditor's office can give.
This is far bigger than paying police and fire. These errors should not be happening. We should not be changing financial statements. We should be accountable. We should be transparent with everything.
KOIM reached out to the city of Joplin regarding the audit. Mayor Doug Lawson said, in part, we look forward to working with the state auditor and his staff to complete the requested audit. The Joplin Memorial Run will cross the finish line next year. Organizers today announced the 2024 event will be the last. They cite a declining number of participants, committee fatigue, and also rising expenses as reasons. The event will be a little different because it'll be the last. One change is that the 161 banners honoring the victims of the 2011 Joplin tornado will be given to the families of the victims.
We just felt like it was time, and rather we did look at other options for continuing the event, but we wanted, this is a very unique, special event, and we wanted to keep it that way. We did not want to sell the event and have it become just another run in a race director's portfolio of events, and so we felt like it's better to go out on top.
The final run will take place on May 18th of next year. There will still be a walk of silence the day before. Yeah, it's chilly out there, but not as cold as it had been. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
No, we're working in the right direction, but we did see a record low this morning. We got all the way down to 19 degrees. The old record was 22, set back in 1991. But look at our afternoon high. We got to 51, 65 is our average, still 14 degrees below that mark, but we're going to close that gap very quickly as we go through the next few days. Looking outside right now, lower 40s, of course, dry. Joplin, also Pittsburgh. Temperatures, most of us upper 30s to lower 40s. And we have pretty much clear skies, a few little clouds kind of skirting through the region. But tonight looks okay. Not near as cold. It's still cold. We drop back and hit that freezing mark, but not as bad as what we have seen over the past 4 or 5 days. All right, so the winds really start to pick up the next few days, but that in return is going to help our temperatures warm up. So we're going to break it all down for you here in just a bit.
See you soon. Police in Liberal, Missouri say some people might have had their credit card information stolen when getting fuel at the Casey's there. Authorities say a card skimming device was found on the diesel pump at that gas station. They're asking anyone who used that pump since October 1st to report it to the police department. The chief says they've seen a rise in fraudulent credit card transactions recently.
This is not specific to Casey's. This is gas stations all over have been hit with it, and they like to use gas pumps or diesel pumps and stuff like that, rather than going inside the store where the camera systems are much better. But it's happening all over the area to all different kinds of gas stations.
If you notice any unusual charges on your card, it's recommended you cancel it and request a new one. I want to make a correction to a story we told you yesterday. We said a Newton County group was suing the Missouri Department of Natural Resources stemming from a sludge spill near Fairview in October. The group is actually petitioning a judge claiming the department is overstepping its authority on issuing permits. You can find more on the story, including the full petition, on our website. Of course, that's KOIMnewsnow.com. The closing of the Tyson plant in Knoll, Missouri last month is having a far-reaching impact on the community. The Community Baptist Church in Knoll today announced it's going to have to close its doors. Officials say Tyson plant brought in a diverse population of worshipers, but now that it's closed, many congregants have moved away. The church's pastor is resigning on December 1st, and a new church will take over operations in the new year. Students at Carthage High School today put their culinary skills to the test. The school's foods and nutrition classes took part in a Bisquick bake-off. It's pretty simple. They were challenged to make a dish with Bisquick other than biscuits, waffles, or pancakes. Dishes they made include monkey bread, churros, brownies, and pumpkin scones. November is American Diabetes Month. More than 37 million children and adults have diabetes in the U.S. In Kansas and Missouri, about 11% of adults deal with the condition. KOIM's Fernandez Silva sat down with a Northeast Oklahoma resident who's learned to find good things dealing with type 1 diabetes.
I wanted to pretend that it wasn't real. I felt very isolated from my peers because even as far as like going to a birthday party, everybody else gets to sit down, they eat right away, they eat their cake, they eat their snacks, and then they just go on. And I would have to stop, check my blood sugar, give an injection, and by the time I was sitting down and eating, everybody else was already gone.
Kaylee Jacobs was only 10 years old when she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, a condition that changed her life and routine forever. But 15 years later, she learned how to even find some positive things about it.
I would never say, oh, I want diabetes, but I know I wouldn't be who I am. I might not have honestly ended up as responsible or mature or made even the life choices that I made.
But Jacobs is not alone. This reporter was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes 13 years ago. In the state of Oklahoma, where she lives, 400,000 people deal with diabetes every day. Some of the common symptoms of diabetes are urinating often, feeling very thirsty, feeling very hungry, even though you're eating, extreme fatigue, and blurry vision.
I missed a lot of school because I was just I would go through periods of throwing up and then I'd be fine and then I'd be back to, and we just thought I got stomach bugs constantly.
Over the years, she saw technologies improving her life quality, from fingerprints and insulin shots to an insulin pump and a continuous glucose monitor.
If I'm asleep at night and something happens or for some reason my blood sugar goes up, I don't have to worry about waking up with a high. Or if I don't tell somebody I'm diabetic, usually they don't know.
For her future, Jacobs hopes for a sweet life with blood sugar levels in range. In Miami, Fernanda Silva, KOIM News.
Diabetes can also impact your wallet. In the U.S., people with diabetes have medical expenses more than double those without the disease. For more details about diabetes and to learn the difference between type 1 and type 2, go to our website, again, koimnewsnow.com. Coming up, hundreds of Palestinians escaped the violence in Gaza by crossing into Egypt. Plus, lawmakers on Capitol Hill debate a proposal to send aid to Israel and Ukraine. For the first time in more than 3 weeks, hundreds of people waiting at the border between Gaza and Egypt have been allowed to leave. The development comes as Israel's military took aim again at a refugee camp in Gaza, claiming there are Hamas targets in that area. Tina Kraus reports from Tel Aviv.
Hundreds of Palestinians holding dual citizenship left Gaza Wednesday, including some Americans, through the Rafah border crossing into Egypt. Ambulances filled with dozens of injured Palestinians were also allowed to leave. Headed into Gaza, more humanitarian aid, though health officials say the supplies are still just a fraction of what's needed for the millions of civilians living in the Hamas-controlled territory, which has been almost completely cut off since the brutal terror attack on Israel last month. The humanitarian breakthrough comes as Israel intensifies its military operations in Gaza. Hamas says Israeli missile strikes on the northern Jabalia refugee camp killed and injured dozens of civilians. Israel says the strikes killed dozens of Hamas fighters, including a senior commander, and destroyed a tunnel complex. In Jerusalem, mourners gathered for the funeral of one of at least 16 soldiers Israel says have been killed since the start of the ground invasion. While in Tel Aviv, sirens warned of incoming rockets, sending Israelis running to shelters. Israelis we spoke to say every day is a struggle with the heartbreak and anxiety war brings.
You have to take a deep breath to fill the lungs with breath, with air.
To feel life.
To feel life, to go on.
Local markets here are much emptier than usual as Israelis try to find their own way to live through a war they're being told will be long and difficult. Tina Kraus, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
The Hamas-run Palestinian Health Ministry says more than 8,700 Palestinians have been killed in the war, mostly women and children. More than 1,400 Israelis have been killed, mostly civilians who were killed during the Hamas attack on October 7th. Hamas is still holding more than 200 people hostage, including children. Lawmakers in the House of Representatives met this evening to write a bill that would provide aid for Israel in its fight against Hamas. However, it does not include money to support Ukraine and other national security needs. The proposal pays for the aid to Israel by cutting funding to the IRS to hire new auditors. A Congressional Budget Office report shows that plan might not pay off, drawing threats of a veto from the White House. Election Day is less than a week away. Some candidates seeking offices in Parsons sat down this evening to discuss why they think they deserve to be in office. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more.
Going to the polls may not always seem like the most exhilarating experience, but the role that local offices play in the success of communities can be vital.
What tonight gives us is an opportunity to hear from the candidates' mouths themselves on some of their opinions, their values, and the things that they'd like to do if they're elected.
Those seeking elected office in Parsons were put at center stage, each candidate getting their fair share of time to say why they were qualified for office.
A collegial desire to do what's best for the students of 506 is paramount.
Or state their opinion on challenges within their community.
We all know that the government's not going to give us more money, so it's really just trying to look, how are we spending those dollars? How can we spend them wiser? Where can we consolidate?
Candidates also answered questions that stem from both national and local concerns. For those seeking school board positions, those questions asked about standardized testing, technology in the classroom, and mental health accommodations for students.
As we know, everybody learns in different ways, and I believe that the experts out there that are teaching our kids are our teachers.
Each person making their case as Election Day approaches rapidly.
We also have lawmakers that don't support public education, and we have some of those around this same area.
Reporting in Parsons, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Election Day is next Tuesday, November 7th. A little bit later, some Pittsburgh High School softball standouts signed to continue their careers in college.
Plus, our temperatures are going to start to warm up a little bit more the next few days. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, at least a little bit warmer for us during the afternoon hours. We broke that 50-degree barrier after record lows during the morning hours. We got into the teens early this morning, but it looks pretty good right now. We're dropping back, but we're not going to be near as cold tonight compared to what we have seen over the past several nights. Nice shot. Here's Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo, just southwest of Seneca, Missouri. And look at our temps over the past 36 hours. So lower 40s yesterday. We took that dip and hit that 19 during the morning hours, but better, up to 51 during the afternoon hours. Right now we're dropping back. It's cold, not as cold as this time the past few nights. 30 in Stockton, but 43 Anderson, 37 in Chautauqua. Fort Scott is sitting at 38 degrees. Let's go outside. 7th and Rangeline sitting at 42. Now we have that south wind at 13, so it makes it feel a little bit colder, but in return, those southerly winds are going to start to warm us up as we go through the next few days. But gusts kind of up there, not terrible, but 20 to 30 during the afternoon hours tomorrow, especially on the Kansas side. Let's go into Friday. Still winds gusting kind of in that 20 to 30 mile per hour range. So we'll say it's breezy, border windy Thursday and Friday. A couple little clouds skirting through. Besides that, not much going on, just a few little clouds. They'll be out of here by morning. And then here's the beginnings of our next wave that will partially start to affect us as we head toward the weekend. In fact, temperatures are going to be great by the time we get into the weekend. So let's look at it. Look at this. upper 60s Saturday. May get a shower with a passing wave Saturday night. Sunday, we go into the 70s. And then as we head into early next week, we have a few weak little waves which are going to pass by, giving us chances for showers. But until then, we just really don't have any chances for rain. And at least we're heading in the right direction. It's still going to be cold tonight, backing down near freezing. As we get into the noon hour tomorrow, southerly winds near 50, and then I think most of us go into the upper 50s. 60 in Stockton, 58 in Neosho, 59 Miami, 61 tomorrow afternoon in Parsons. Let's go into tomorrow night. Not as bad. Upper 30s to near 40 for an overnight low, and then moving into Friday, still windy, but look at the return. Temperatures mainly into the mid 60s. For afternoon highs on Friday. So that's pretty good. Day planner for you tomorrow. If you're getting up early, 36 at 7, 48 by 11, 58 by 3, dropping back to 50 by 7 p.m. Let's look at the weekend. Might as well. Look at this, 68 Saturday, 71 on Sunday. Mild, it's still going to be windy over the weekend. Maybe get a random shower Saturday night. And then, of course, those 70s on Sunday. And of course, too, the sun's going to be setting an hour earlier on Sunday because we flop back an hour Saturday night, daylight saving time ending. And what that's going to do for us is make it pretty dark. Oh, by 5:30?
Yeah, don't. Too early.
Yeah, which kind of stinks. But temperature is at least going in the right direction, which is good.
I've heard of fall back, but you said we're going to flop back.
Fall, flop,
okay,
lean, whatever you want to do.
Lean. So. Okay, I think we're actually going to fall over back. Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, another shakeup in the Central Ozark Conference, and 2 Pittsburgh High School seniors make their college commitments. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
We may be getting closer to winter, but today's a big day for a couple spring sport athletes at Pittsburgh High School. 2 seniors on the Purple Dragon softball team signed their college commitment letters. Maya Russell and Maddie Burdick signing letters of intent this afternoon at PHS in front of friends and family, along with coaches and administrators. Russell's continuing her academic and athletic career at Fort Scott Community College. Burdick is heading to Daytona State. She says her relationship with their head coach has made all the difference.
The first time I heard from him, it was I made a good play and he came down and talked to me, and I saw his energy there and just how amazing of a coach he could be. And so then I went on a tour with him and he really showed me like how he is as a person. He's very family oriented, cares about his players, and I think he just wants the best.
My teammates at PHS are really special to me because those are the first people I've played with for a school, and so it was a really special bond with them. And then Coach Terry also, he has pushed me and all my teammates in so many ways and just pushed us to go to state last year, just things like that. We just are a team and I really enjoy it.
And as the calendar flips to November, we're ready for college hoops season. Missouri Southern women's basketball has an unofficial opening to its 2023-24 campaign at Wichita State tonight. Now, a year ago, this exhibition went to overtime, close again tonight, but the Lions fall on the road, 75-65. They still hung tough with a D1 opponent for 4 quarters. Chrislyn Jones, one of the few returners from last year's team, she leads all scorers tonight with 23 points. That's to go along with 6 boards and 3 steals. And it feels like I keep saying this week in and week out, but we have another high school athletics conference shakeup in Southwest Missouri, specifically with the Central Ozark Conference. The COC continues to fill spots, membership ballooning up to 14, so the league is going to split into an East and West division. All our local schools are in the West. Carthage, Joplin, Neosho, Webb City, Willard and Republic join them, and Parkview is in the West division of the conference, but that's only for sports other than football. Game 5 of the World Series tonight, the 9th inning of Game 5 between the Diamondbacks and Rangers, just wrapping up before we come on air. And the Texas Rangers are the 2023 World Series champions, which is the first time in franchise history they've done so. Texas takes Game 5, 5-0 over the Diamondbacks. There was no score until the 7th inning when Texas scored 1. It added 4 more in the top of the 9th to ice away a World Series victory. Kind of eases the pain of the 2011 World Series for Rangers fans, I'm sure.
Yeah, not so much for Arizona fans.
Not so much, no.
Yeah. We'll be right back. The Collins Dictionary has released its 2023 Word of the Year, and the winner is AI, as in artificial intelligence. Collins defines AI as a term that describes the modeling of human mental functions by computer programs. It was chosen because stories about AI have dominated the headlines amid the technology's rapid development this year. It is amazing how quickly words or phrases, or in this case initials that were little understood a few years ago, just become part of our everyday language.
It is.
Quickly.
Just don't let it take over.
How do you know it hasn't already?
Or we're out of the job.
Yeah. How do you know I'm not AI?
I'm just assuming that you are.
Okay,
yeah.
That's what you want me to think. Yeah.
All right, tonight, please trust me, it's not going to be as cold. We're going to drop back right around freezing. 58 tomorrow, up to 64 Friday, 68 on Saturday.
Final sports note.
One more sports note. Legendary head basketball head coach at the college level, Bobby Knight, dies today at the age of 83. He was a 3-time national champion as a head coach, and coach that a lot of people definitely grew up watching.
Yeah, legendary figure. Thanks for joining us. Morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.